What's going on, guys? So it's been a minute since I made a video, and honestly just mainly due to Indiana weather being bad, but in the past couple weeks it's starting to warm up quite a bit, so I decided that it's time to get back into the swing of things and get the E30 a little bit more presentable. I ended up picking up a set of side skirts and rear valence. I also had the front valence from the previous owner, but I want to get those completely fitted and everything pretty much looking the way I want it to look before doing paint, because once we get to paint, I don't want to scratch up the paint trying to get everything mocked up again, or have to struggle with that later. It should just be paint and throw it back on the car. So let's go ahead and take a look real quick and see what I got for it. So as far as the back goes, I decided to pick up a couple of rear valences, and let me tell you guys, finding valences that will fit a US spec diving board car is not the easiest task for sure. So these are from Classic Euro Parts. I'll link everything I got in the description below, but these are basically a Zender replica kit. So it's made to look like a Zender valence, but it just essentially works with the USDM bumpers, which are the if you have an early model, it'll be the diving board metal bumpers. But yeah, I've already democked it up a little bit. It looks really good, but just gotta get all the holes drilled and everything to make it work. The side skirts though, I picked up a set from Garagistics, and they're nothing really crazy. They're just an IS style side skirt. They were pretty cheap. You can buy the OEM ones still from BMW, but they'll cost you probably around $550 plus. Then you gotta get hardware and all that. These they run somewhere around $250, which isn't bad honestly for what they are, and they fit really good. The only thing is you gotta get a little bit creative when mounting them. As far as the front goes, so this is the only part on the whole aero kit that's actually a real part. This is actually a Racing Dynamics front valence, and the only real reason I even have this is because it came with the car. To be completely honest, I don't really know what these run. I couldn't find another one, so I don't really know where you can even find one. But it is really good quality. It's a little dinged up, obviously, from just over the years. I think this is probably somewhere in like the early 2000s. Don't know 100%, but essentially, kind of reminds me of the Cowcatcher, but it's just a little bit different, especially with it being its own brand, Racing Dynamics. But just a really good piece, honestly. It looks like a really strong. The plastic is like a really pliable, I don't really know what it is, but it just looks like it's got a lot of give to it, so it should be pretty resistant. I gotta say though, the rest of the kit is still like a really nice plastic. I don't really like the fiberglass pieces because they tend to be really brittle, and if you hit anything on the road, it'll pretty much splinter the whole thing and just break it immediately. These tend to have a little bit more give. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think this will withstand a hard hit, like a really hard hit, but I still think that it'll do better than fiberglass. Alright, so I made these mounts. You still have to cut that piece off of there, but it's just tack welded on, but basically just screws into the bumper, because you know the bumper has the two studs right there and right there, and then I still have to drill some holes over here on this side, but basically that should hold it in place. We'll see if it works. This might be the first draft because it's a little rough, but if it works, fine. I'm just gonna finish welding that up and powder coat this just to make it look nicer. But yeah, not too bad. Brackets are in. The fitment is actually really good. This is pretty much how it sits here. That fitment's like literally perfect. This side's a little bit iffy. That's only because the screw that was already in there is just a little lower than I'd like it, but nothing I can't fix. But yeah, looks really good. Let's move on to the side skirts. Mentioned that the side skirts are from Garagistics, and I mean the fitment is really good as far as like body lines and everything. You guys can see it literally follows the whole line, and then right here it splits it like at the perfect place. And the only problem I really have with them is that they don't have any like mounting points like the OE ones do, but for the price you really can't complain. I mean, these are like $200 less than the other ones, so it would just be me bitching, honestly. But like I said, they don't have any mounting points, so it does kind of make it a bit inconvenient, but at the same time, I mean, I can make do with some double-sided tape.
So fitment's not perfect. It's pretty close, both sides. But this is what you'll get with replica kits. I ended up tapping it just once on each side, and then two times. You can barely see them, maybe. Well, there's a clip right here and a clip right here, and same thing on the other side, just holding it in place to the body. And then I gotta figure something out. I think I'm gonna end up putting something right here to hold it in place as well, just to keep it in its normal in its position, and give it a little bit more rigidity. But so far, looks pretty good. Obviously the tape is just temporary, just to hold it in place. But yeah, now I gotta drill the back and make sure that centerpiece doesn't fall off. I ended up picking up some of these quick release buttons and then tapping into the body of the car, and that holds it in place really well. Holds it up as well because I was having a drooping issue in the back. The front I put in little clips as you guys saw before, but even then I was having that issue where this would drop because there's nothing supporting it. So now that it has something supporting it, holds it up nice and flush, at least like I said, as good as it's gonna get. And then this, you won't even see it because I'll just put the cover for the light. Let me grab that real quick. That side, that piece will just go on like this. See if I can get it lined up. Yeah, just like that. And never even know that there's a pin there, really. Like the fitment, everything's looking really well on this car, honestly. Took a bit to actually get everything aligned, but super stoked with how it's turning out. So the actual fit and finish of the valence and the side skirts is actually not bad. So the rear had a few gaps in just the body lines, but honestly, unless you're a professional or you get up really close, you can't even tell. Especially once it's all going to be one color, you really won't be able to see much of that. The front, the only issue I do have with it is that it's a little wavy in the middle, and you can barely kind of see it there where it meets the actual metal bumper. But that's just from it being old and just getting a little bit distorted. I can't really complain much. Everything else fits pretty good compared to that. Of course, once it's all one color, it'll look much better. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap up the video. I don't think there's much else to do other than just the body work and sanding. So yeah, as far as the body goes, I think it's pretty much set. But thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for the next one.